All right, guys, we are back with episode 2 of Grid and Grind podcast. You're going to notice somebody a little different next to me today. This is Ryan Nardone. He will be um, on the podcast fairly frequently, I would imagine.
I think so.
Jacob had work commitments today and could not be here. But we've got the next best thing, the third member of our trio, Ryan Nardone. Um, Morning. It's not used to
Yeah,
having
good
you up this
morning.
early. I mean,
It's
it's
10
before
o'clock.
noon.
Yeah, no, I've been up for a
Uh,
good bit, so yeah, no,
Ryan,
it's
yeah,
interesting seeing me up this early.
I
So
I'm surprised. I mean, we'll kind of talk into why you're awake this early in the morning too. That kind of changes. But I've known
yeah,
Donnie, as we affectionately call him. I think we went back in like January 2021, somewhere in there.
yeah,
So
they're
about four
late
and a half, 5
2020,
years.
something like that.
Yeah, so Ryan was the race control on a truck series league that I was racing in. And I mean, he was good
Got
race control, but
got fired.
he did get, I mean, that's the story of your life, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. But Ryan, he was race control for that, and we started kind of hanging out late at night. After the races would get over with, we'd go and run a bunch of hosted races. Cause I don't know about you guys, but when I get done iRacing, I can't fall asleep. I mean, Ryan, how are you right to bed after you get done, or you need like,
I used to be during my college days, I would be up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Things
yeah,
obviously have changed as the years go on.
the good old days,
Yeah.
when Ryan was in college. But we'd stay up, like Ryan was saying, we'd stay up till like 2 in the morning, and we used to do this thing where we just bounce around the iRacing hosted rooms. It didn't really matter what it was. We just kind of look for like the dumbest combinations. So we ran like was it Kia Optimas at Martinsville one time.
Yep, we've done that.
I caught the mirror on the Martinsville wall and like spiraled around the track, which was pretty funny. Ryan, we did
My street stock dirt streeters at Lanier
yeah,
was my claim to fame.
it was a
Um,
smash to pass race too, right?
yes, yep, it
Yeah.
was.
So
And I got smashed, I got passed, and ended up in the catch fence
yeah, you
stuck.
did. You get hung up in the catch fence, and we saved that picture. And then there was like a couple years ago where somebody got caught in the catch fence, and we used it. I think it was like an outdoor race or something. We were like, Donnie did it first. So
Oh no, Chili Bowl.
Chili Bowl, wow, who can
Yep,
forget Chili Bowl? That always
everyone
happens.
gets hung up at Chili Bowl.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's once a year where someone's getting caught up in the catch fence there, and what is it, I guess 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're always in the fence. I mean, they have the catch fence counter for a reason. So, but I
Yeah,
think for me, the one race that still to this day stands out in my head, and I think you're gonna know where I'm going with this,
I
is
think so.
Spec Racer Fords at Dover.
Yes,
Um,
K1.
yes, the guy that had that was hosting the session legitimately um,
He could
had
be an announcer.
yeah, he had the K1 speed like intro where they tell you like gas is on the right, brake is on the left, no bumping, like all of that kind of stuff. He had that entire thing like memorized and was able to kind of walk us through that. So that was really, really awesome. And then he took it so far too as to have custom paint schemes done for his and his buddy's car that had like no bumping on the back and stuff like that. It was really fun. Probably one of the best hosted sessions I've ever been in.
That was a good combo. Because I mean, you just hung it on the bottom the whole time. I
Right.
know another one, one of the prototypes, old school prototypes at Nashville Fairgrounds. I don't know if you remember this one.
Yep, Riley prototypes at Nashville
Yes,
Fairgrounds. Yes.
that was also a very good combo,
Yes,
to mess around
surprisingly.
with late at night. You don't see many of those nowadays anymore. I
No,
feel like
iRacing's
everyone's kinda
settled
doing some
down.
official stuff, yeah.
I feel the officials, at least like on the short track side, are pretty much dead. Um,
Mhm.
we've kind of the community has killed that, but you
Yeah.
have like the roadside alive and well, absolutely. NASCAR side
Yep.
seems pretty good, but you don't see the fun hosted races like you used to. You know,
No,
the Pro 2 trucks at Oxford or the prototypes at Nashville Fairgrounds. Like those just don't happen anymore.
no. You love those Pro 2 trucks at Oxford.
It, it's
Those are your bread and butter.
it's a weird combo, and that's what I'm here for. Are the weird things like you would never see that in real life, you know?
No.
So we got to enjoy that. Use the sim for what it is, and that's just having a ton of fun.
And some. Yeah, exactly. If you're
Right.
not having fun, what's that saying? Isn't it
I
if
don't
you're not
know.
having fun? I don't know.
I don't know where you're
It
going with
popped in my
this.
head. One of
Um,
those sayings popped in my head, but
but you were talking a lot about how life changes. So let's kind of talk about for
yep.
you. Lots of big life changes recently.
Yeah, all
So,
within the last month.
right, you went
So,
from being second mechanic at Ford Performance
yep.
to being
Oh,
semi-unemployed.
let's even go back further.
All right,
Started as a detail cleaner
right.
at the school, then 4 months up to supervisor, had my reins up there, and then come the off season, so about January, February, then moved over to having, eh, little experience of working on cars, but then jumping in the deep end and working on a GT4 car, Mustang GT4 car,
I mean, it's
then
not.
unemployed.
Yep.
Yeah, now we keep going, and now, working on Mustang Challenge or the Dark Horse R for Mustang Cup and Mustang Challenge.
And you're also doing in your spare time some Amazon package delivery just to
Someone's gotta pay Jeff Bezos.
there we go. But then
But,
also, I mean, aside from that too, you're a new dad to a 3-year-old,
yes.
and
So,
your
yep,
girlfriend just moved in, and
both of them did.
you moved them from Florida
Yep,
to North
Panama City,
Carolina.
all the way up here. Yep.
So
So, big
how
swing, big change.
how was that?
It's been good. I think the settle down period has finally settled down. Kind of getting more into routines and stuff like that. She started working. Little man started daycare today, actually. So,
That's why you're up so early.
that is
Is from
why I
okay,
am up early. Yep.
that makes
Not
sense.
the fact that she woke me up when she got up, but um
As she
I
should.
fell back. I fell back asleep.
Oh, of course you did.
Um but nope, took had to get a little man ready
So you guys
for
did
daycare.
you guys did U-Haul moving from
Yep.
Florida up to North Carolina, and you were driving the U-Haul, right?
Yep, and I had little man in the passenger seat the whole way up. He loved it.
I'm sure
Um,
he did.
because with her car, she's got a little car, so he can't really see up over out the window. And then I've got a Jeep, her mom's got a Jeep where he kinda can sit higher up, so he likes that, and we were like, well, he likes to see look out the window and stuff like that, so
Absolutely.
it was, yeah, he was riding high in there,
Once in a lifetime
so
trip in a big rig going
e
from Florida to North
exactly.
Carolina. And
20-footer? Oh,
he
yeah.
he might actually remember that too as he gets older.
He probably will, because we always mention it to him. "You rode with Ryan the big truck?" "Yep."
There you go.
So, he loved it. He was good for the most part. I mean, it's not easy taking a 2, 3-year-old and having them sit still in the car for 9, 10 hours, so
Right. And he's
he
not an
didn't
iPad kid, right? Like you guys don't just stick an iPad
uh,
in front of him.
no,
Okay.
we try not to. I mean, if we're out doing something, like, he came to hockey on Sunday, and so I think she brought it for him, but I don't actually think he ever used it.
Okay.
Um He's a big, "Let's sit in front of the TV and watch," which I guess is good, but, it's not. TV's a little bit further away than an iPad might be,
Right. I
so
mean, Sydney was an iPad kid, and she continues to be an iPhone teenager, so I'm not anyone to judge there. So, but no, I mean, I'm glad things are working out for you. That's the famous
Mm,
futon that you had in your first apartment, right?
I
Behind you.
yep, that is the infamous futon, the Walmart futon.
When
So,
Donnie moved into his first apartment, he was like the quintessential
College
bachelor.
kid.
Yeah, like he legitimately, I think when you first moved in, you had like a camping chair in your living room
Yep.
for like three
Didn't have a
months.
TV for 7 months.
Yeah.
Didn't have the living room was basically empty.
Yeah, you had your
Um,
your bedroom and your sim rig, and
yep.
like the big thing
That
was
was
like you could
all I
sit at your
needed.
sim rig and watch whatever you needed to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then,
those days.
as time kinda goes on, then you start getting a few things here and there, and so we ended up with just a smallish futon. I mean, the place wasn't huge, but it fit for what we needed,
You're
or for what I needed.
you've gone from being, let's be honest, like feral on the streets to like quite domesticated.
A little bit. Yeah. If that's how you wanna put it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like I remember the Donny that was like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with just having a camping chair. This is fine." And now
Oh,
you're
there's nothing
like,
wrong
"Hey,
with
we've got 7 pillows on the bed."
it. 9 actually, but
9, yeah, there you go. All right. Speaking of your iRacing rig, probably a decent segue there. The new build, you did not get a chance to. Jacob and I talked about it on Monday. Kind of some of the stuff. We hadn't had a chance to see any official stuff. It was before the update, patch 1
switch
had been
over.
released. So
Yep, that
patch
as well.
1 updated a lot of the complaints that I was hearing from people, and one of the big complaints that I had was in the sizing of the UI, that it was just really small and really hard to read. So the update actually allowed, when you had it set to 150%, to show 150% novel
Hmm.
concept, um,
Yeah.
which seems to
Makes
have
sense.
helped some of the complaints. A lot of people are still trying to figure out where things are, how to do things that they knew how to do on the old one. But what are kind of your thoughts on the new build?
So I'm one of those that are trying to figure out where things are and how to get it. It's just a change thing. When people have something for, I mean, what, 15 years now? 10 to 15 years
Yeah,
that UI has been
2008.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's so used to it, me myself included. And so having to change, it's hard at first. Um, I think there are some good pieces to it. I mean, there's a few tidbits. I know the tires. I'm not a huge fan of like the tire black box because I feel like it kind of was a little bit easier to select tires and then change pressures, and now they kind of have it as 2 different steps, whereas before it was kinda sequential or I guess in line of the way you would do it. But I think just the biggest
What
thing
changed
was
in that box? I haven't really played around with that. I don't
so
do.
so the old way used to be, when you were selecting and deselecting tires, it
Yep.
went let's just start with left front, it went the PSI to change and
Yep.
then toggled if you want it on and off. Let's just say for a road car. So you your PSI, then toggle on off. Then you go down to your left rear, PSI, toggle on off,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. Now what it is at least for me, like if you scroll up and down, like if you have a keybind for it up down, to just toggle through it, you have your tires first of selecting if you want the tires on or off. And then on the right side of the screen or the black box,
Hmm.
that's where your PSI is. So if you were trying to do just a rear change or something like that, like it's almost a two-step process now because you'd have to select both those tires, then keep click, 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 click until you get to the rear tires on the black box
Hmm.
or on the right side of it. Because
Yeah.
at least for me, I've always and gotten used to like having a button bound for like a
Right.
D-pad button
Yep.
rather than trying to race one-handed, grab my mouse, do all that. So for people like that, it's a little more tricky. Um, it just something you gotta keep an eye out for.
I need to
But
check. Then that's actually a really good point. I need to check my macros for my button box because I just have like a switch on my button box that if I point it up, it turns tires off. If I put it down, it adds all
gotcha.
tires. Fuel is the same. I should go
Mhm,
through and double check those. I mean, I don't run a lot of series anymore where I have to worry about setting tires or fuel. That was more the
mhm.
NASCAR days. But I
Yeah.
should probably go through and make sure that those
I
are
think the macros still like the iRacing given macros and
they're
all
still
of that
good.
or the commands, I think they still are. I wouldn't see why not. I mean, you're still just toggling on and off and stuff like that. Um, but at least the manual way of doing it or analog, however you want to call it,
Right.
it's a little more, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The UI does look pretty nice in some ways. It's a little bit cleaner. I know you had mentioned the opacity is a big thing.
Yep.
Some of the cars, and I got to figure out which ones and all that. My black box kind of was in that A pillar, or I'd have stuff in that A pillar
Right.
area,
Mhm.
or either there or on the right side. So just to be nice to lessen that a little bit, to kind of see what's behind it and not just have a literally a black box right there is gonna
Right.
be
I
good.
mean, it's pretty clear that iRacing is trying to uh, to get rid of third-party software. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious. Whether it's
Mhm.
bringing in, Cosworth Pi to be like a built-in iRacing telemetry tool, so that we're not using Motec or Garage 61, those types of things.
Mhm.
Whether it's giving us better data within the cars, like it's obvious that the goal is to get rid of third-party options, and
Mhm.
I think what they're seeing is there's a lot of people that are doing things within those third-party apps to give them a distinct advantage. It's
Yeah.
anytime you have an open door, racers, whether it's sim racers or real racers, they're going to exploit that opening, you know,
Yeah.
and gain some type of an advantage. So, have you
I
tried
mean,
out any of the?
iRacing
Oh, yep.
they do have. I mean, kind of it's pretty easy to. I mean, even if you wanted to make your own thing, um, it's kind of easy to build out your own deal or make something, and that might help you or whatever. So I mean, that's the one I guess good thing about iRacing is if you didn't want to go through a third party or wanted to go through your own, anything like that. There is some workaround with it, but I mean, it would be nice to see um, what iRacing may come up with. But I know
Yep.
like for some of those third party stuff, there's a lot of options. So if you don't like one, you go to another one. Whereas I feel like with iRacing, you're only kind of going to have that one option.
Right.
Unless they take bits and pieces from here and there, all of that, and bring it in, and maybe that's something they get 2, 3 years down the line. Who knows?
I mean, my hot take on a lot of those third-party add-ons
Oh
that
yeah,
it just makes it more of
huge
an
fan of them,
arcade.
aren't you?
Yeah, it makes it more of an arcade. It's not
Yep.
something that you would have inside the car, so I don't
Yeah,
necessarily think
but
you should
I
have
mean,
it.
I remember this conversation because I think Jacob came right back and said, "Well, you have at the track, you've got a spotter, you've got a crew chief,
Some people
you've
do.
got well, yeah, you've got a spotter, crew chief, maybe another or two mechanics. I mean, you look at the NASCAR side, you got
Right.
engineers and all of that. When you're sim racing, it's just you.
Right.
So yeah, it might be on screen, and for people that have multiple screens, maybe you could pull it off on something like that. But like there's your team per se
Right. I
is
would
in those
I
overlays.
would make the argument though that within iRacing, you know you're always going to have perfect tires, right? You don't have to worry about stagger being off or anything like that.
Yep.
You pretty much know, like if you're in an e-NASCAR race, you know what the weather is going to be, so you don't have any weather concerns there. Um, it's just a lot of the stuff is really dumbed down compared to real racing or pared down. Wouldn't
Mhm.
necessarily say dumbed down, but pared down, and it makes it to where you can be a single person. Obviously, you can't run Road to Pro by yourself, right?
Correct.
But
You could, it'd be tricky, but
I could not imagine trying to do being competitive. You can run Road to Pro, you're just not going to be competitive.
correct.
And we know that
Correct.
from past experience.
Oh yeah.
So,
Did you ever
um,
run it?
we tried it. I tried it, I believe 2 years in a row.
Okay.
And I made it to like the second or third race each year. And then I just said, this is stupid. Because unless you're on, and let this be a hot take, at least for the old Road to Pro process, right? They revamped it for next year. But unless you're on a big name team and you have Coke drivers there supporting you with their resources and their crew chiefs and 10 to 12 guys that are able to turn laps, you got no hope. If your I rating's below 5,000 I rating, you're wasting your time running Road to Pro.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
it's just historically been proven that way. So,
Correct.
um, all right. Anything else on the new build?
No, I mean, I haven't messed with it too much. The Wilkes-Barre I am excited for. Haven't been there pre, I guess, what, 23 when they first brought it back, and now
Right
seeing
before the
it
repave.
with the repave and all that. Well, that was even before they redid the whole place.
Right.
Um, and now seeing it with the repave, that's pretty cool. I think this was one of the better updates. There was a lot of new things in it, at least for me. But no,
Yeah.
I mean, we're week 1. We're 2 days in on it.
I'll say
3
the same
days,
thing I
something like
said
that.
on Monday's
Yep.
show. I just want Oxford Plains to have lights. We got the
You might have
poles.
to you
We
might have
just
to keep
need
saying that
somebody to
for
turn them on.
weeks on end now.
Yep. All right. So shifting
But
gears here a little bit from
let's get
iRacing
it.
to real racing. Donnie, you are a pretty big sprint car fan.
A little bit, yeah, I'd say.
So we have a high limit race at Lawrenceburg, which I believe is tonight. It is
Yes.
the rescheduled rainout from May. So in May, they would have had NASCAR superstar Kyle Larson. And tonight, they do not. Due to a NASCAR commitment, Kyle Larson cannot attend. So we've got kind of a open field, I would call it. I mean, obviously, Rico Abreu is going to be probably everyone's number one easy pick if you were betting. Um,
Yep.
Brad Sweet has been kind of interesting. He would normally be your number two that you'd go for, I think, or that I would go for. He's struggled a
Mhm.
lot recently since coming back from injury from Eldora. Coming off, though, two straight second place finishes last weekend at Lernerville. And then you have the last three winners in high limit have all been first time winners. So you had Ryan Timms at the Tuscarora 50, Tanner Thorson, which I can't believe he hasn't won a high limit race yet,
That's yeah, I know.
winning Friday at Lernerville. And then Dason Pursley, um, who, I mean, I remember when he broke his back and they weren't sure he was ever going to
Mhm.
walk again. And now he's winning high limit races at Lernerville.
Yeah.
So let's think. What are you thinking for Lawrenceburg? Rico?
I'm gonna go with the guy sitting in 3rd, because
Ooh.
Lawrenceburg's a Pennsylvania track, is it not?
I'm not sure 100% where Lawrenceburg is. Probably.
I believe it is. Um, Brett Marks. If it's a
It's in
Pennsylvania track,
Indiana. Indiana. Lawrenceburg,
okay, so this
Indiana.
is I feel like there is a track in PA that's similar, but
You still gonna
I'll
go?
still go I'll still go Brett Marks. I feel like his name has been I mean, I'm not I watch it here and there, but at least someone from a little bit of an outsider, I feel like his name has been brought up a lot lately. I think he won not too long ago as well. So yeah, he's
Yep.
sitting 3rd in points, 120 back. Um, Now with this race, because I'm looking at their points, um, is this a midweek
I
race or
believe it
like the
is.
midweek
It
series?
should be a midweek race if Larson was going to be there. I don't think it's
Okay,
considered. I mean, it's middle of the week, so.
yeah,
But it could have been a space
those
filler. I'm pretty confident it's a midweek race.
that's what I think so. But
Um,
yeah, I'm gonna go Brett Marks on this.
Brent Marks. I think, God, I kind of think Tim's might have an opportunity to win again. He's been pretty hot lately,
Mhm.
but I mean, I just don't think you can bet against Rico anywhere. Like if you go to a track and you're a first time high limit person, if Larson's not there, bet on Rico, and that I think is kind of
Him or Brad Sweet.
right. Like
It's one of those 2.
you know you'll finish top three at least in that point.
Yeah, exactly. I think we know who Jacob's pick would be if he was here.
Not Kyle Larson, that's for sure.
Nope, but
No,
Rico Aber.
Ever since Larson had a little run-in with Justin Allgaier, Jacob has been ice cold on Kyle Larson. And I mean, I'll be honest, Kyle Larson since the Indy 500 has not been the same Kyle
Mm-mm.
Larson.
In anything though.
Right. Across the board.
Yep, because he had 2 wrecks during the month of May,
So I
or at
don't
least
know.
for Indy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but ever since then they've been off. You could kind of some of the NASCAR stuff you could say, well, maybe they're trying different stuff to get ready for the playoffs, that kind of
Mhm.
narrative, but it just seems pretty obvious to me that something is amiss in the
Yes.
HendrickCars.com camp.
I'd almost say almost across the board at the Hendrick camp. I mean, you have Byron and Chase kinda running somewhat well, but then you look at Kyle and Alex, I mean, I don't know if it's I mean, Alex has had that 48 teams had struggles of their own, but, it almost seems like that whole Hendrick camp has kind of taken a little bit of a step back and has allowed Gibbs to kinda dominate here within the
Yeah, and
last
Gibbs kind of
handful of weeks.
came out of nowhere too, I feel
Mhm.
like. Like they were there, but they weren't there.
And they've always been there,
Right.
but we're also so used to Hendrick domination of or at least those 2 going at it, those 2 camps or those 2 teams. Um, but now it feels like Gibbs has definitely jumped up a little bit higher.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it this last weekend. We can kind of dive into Bristol TV ratings here real quick. I'm jumping around on the show sheet a little bit, Donny. But
Go with that.
Bristol TV ratings, we're already talking about. Well, I mean, we could start out with Denny Hamlin, a
Yep.
Gibbs driver. He's got two crew members suspended for the next two races after the wheel fell off in their wreck. So it'll be interesting. I mean, a team like Gibbs, two crew members, I don't think it's really going to matter. They'll just plug and play and away they
Yeah.
go.
There's enough people on the back end having known a little bit of insight and stuff like that. There's plenty of people that they
Oh,
can if they've probably got a 5th team, if not a 6th team
I
set
would
up there.
imagine. And
Honestly,
they'll
if not more.
they'll just pull it off a rental car. I mean, it's not like they're really going to miss anything there. But Bristol
Exactly.
TV ratings, we only have cup numbers that I was able to find. So USA, it was a .79 rating, 1.5 million viewers, down from a .98 and 1.8 million viewers last year. But I was able to find, I think last year's numbers were up like 10% or something from the year before. So
Mhm.
it's maybe not so much a drop in viewership, but a realignment in where it should have been. Last year was a big spike. Um,
More of an
the
outlier and
spring,
all
well,
that.
the spring 2024 race kind of was a calamity, chaos, like what we saw on Saturday
Wild.
night this year. Yes, and
Yes.
so it'll be interesting to see what the spring Bristol race does this next year compared to where it was, just because it has this lead in.
Mhm.
And we did talk a little bit. There was a slightly different tire compound this weekend on the right sides. For those technical fans, I don't have Jacob here to tell me what the differences are in these tires, but we had a D5264 compound versus a D5206 that they had
I
used
mean,
on the right sides previously.
I could probably tell you with Jacob not being here, the tire was softer because it
Yeah,
broke one of the Goodyear's
I
machines.
mean, that was pretty obvious that it was
So,
definitely softer. Um,
yeah,
it just is interesting, kind of how that played out this last weekend. Jacob and I kind of talked about it a little bit on Monday's show. I don't know, Donnie, if you had too much of a take on it.
on the tire.
Just the race, tire. I don't know how much of it you saw.
I mean, I watched a good bit of it. We were up with family, but from being at the spring 24 race and then hearing all this talk about the tire's gonna be similar, it's gonna shred, it's gonna
Right,
be chaos, all that, like, being there in 24, like, no one knew that that was gonna happen, and
right.
then for that all to go down that race, um, as bad as it's gonna sound, it looked like an ARCA race, with
Ooh,
the speed differences on tires,
okay.
new tires versus old tires, it was kind of exciting to see it, I think the fall off window in a way. When the tire really hit a cliff first when they pit, you didn't have that big of a speed difference. You had a little bit of getting in the way. You saw a lot of bumping and pushing and shoving. which that was good. Um, but I enjoyed it. Yes, it still kind of was bottom line dominant. I think that's just how Bristol's going to be now.
I hope
Um,
so. It makes Bristol good then.
yes,
Bristol
because
on the
wasn't it?
bottom is good Bristol. Bristol where you can
Yes,
run all three lanes is bad.
yeah. I have liked kind of, and I think Xfinity does it a little bit, where you can run at least either the really top or the very bottom, and it's still a good race. But that car is a whole that's a whole nother story compared to
No,
the Cup car.
if you put the Xfinity cars to where they had to stay on the bottom, if they could get that right side tire package to
Hmm.
where it was doing like what it did for the Cup race in the Xfinity
Oh
race,
geez.
it
Oh geez.
would be amazing. I mean, just on the bottom, bump and grind. Um, that's what made Bristol Bristol. It made it the
Yes.
most sought after ticket in all of NASCAR.
Hmm.
Was that, and when
I guess it
they
becomes a 10-inch wheel question then, or however wide the tire is.
Nah, it doesn't
Because
matter. You keep them on
well,
the
because
bottom, you're good.
yeah, but did you see the bump Brad did to
Yeah,
Steve Bell and he didn't move.
you squared them up
Exactly.
because okay, so
He didn't move one bit. He moved half a lane up and was just playing it
in
still.
order to short track move someone, you need bumpers to not line up. So when you
Correct.
think about like a late model stock, you think about NASCAR of old, right? The front and rear
Mhm,
bumpers didn't line up. And now that you have the hit points on the front and rear bumpers lining up, you
mhm.
don't have that ability to lift the rear tires up and get that car to move where you need it to. Like that's what would
That's
happen is
fair.
you'd get your nose under that bumper and it lightens up that rear end and
The
it would
rear end, yes.
yeah, and it moves guys. Where now because the bumpers align, all you can do is play bumper car and try and send them 5 lanes up the track.
Yep.
And I mean, they were kind of talking about a door bumper clear. They were making fun of Brad a little bit because like you don't really do that much anymore. And when was the last time that Brad had to really attempt to get a win and make a move like that? Like I don't back maybe when he was battling with Carl Edwards, flipping each other at Atlanta and stuff. Like,
Jeez.
I mean, it's been a while, but
Holy cow.
I don't.
But I
I
mean, the bumper cars on the bottom was good to see. Even
right,
and that's why I mean the fall off compared to 2024 wasn't as severe. Where I mean, like it was almost a safety risk at that point. I
right. But
mean,
you know, you look at NASCAR, right? Their general philosophy, NASCAR as a whole, has been to make the cars as equal as possible, so that you have
yep.
first to 36th within 3/10 of each other.
Unfortunately,
And one of the things that you said was that variance in speed, whether it was new tires, old tires, etc., is what made the racing great.
yep.
So, you know, if anybody from NASCAR is listening to this, watching it, you know,
One, welcome. I
we're
think
just a
that's
couple
pretty
of
cool.
thanks. Yeah, make sure you send us a DM, hit the comments. But like, you just have to, I don't know, you got to understand
Yeah,
that,
I think that that fall off, uh, well, I guess last year at this point,
right,
was a little extreme. The fall off that they had this weekend was still good, um, and even that just little bit of difference, was still pretty good. And I think I've heard Denny talk about it on his podcast a handful of times, about the lap delta that you need to pass people.
yeah,
Indy was you needed to be a second faster than the car ahead of you.
just with
And
Arrow, once you
like
got up behind them, you were done.
stuff exactly. Yep. So I don't remember full the context of all that. Or not the context, but full notes of that. But I think nowadays it's for most tracks it's about 3/10 a lap faster to pass
Okay.
someone. Some of the bigger ones, it's that full second. But you were I will say it was good to see at least that once the tires started going, um, that you were kinda able to just start playing bumper cars and it not be the end of the world for people. You're not wrecking people like
Right.
how,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
But
All right. NASCAR banquet, we'll keep on the NASCAR theme right now, is going to be held, I think, like the Tuesday after Phoenix this year. And unlike past years where they've taken the top 10, they are only taking the top four, I believe I heard, in Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. So if you're
Interesting.
outside the final four, you don't get to attend the banquet, which is kind of a new thing. My
It's
always take on banquets is I'm not on the team, so it doesn't really affect me. But
I think it's interesting though because they used to have Xfinity and Truck,
mhm.
or they had all the national series, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure even
They're still doing the ARCA and the regional banquet whenever they had scheduled. So it's just the top three
okay,
series are
because
getting
weren't I know Truck and Xfinity used to be at the same time, but I didn't know if
correct.
ARCA and Regional were also with those.
Um, I'm not sure. I've never been fortunate enough to get to go to one of those, so
Yeah. But no, I think it's good that they're kinda bringing at least all the top 4 of the top 3 series together,
right.
um, rather than kind of because all you really saw out of the Xfinity and Truck banquet was whatever you saw on social media. That was it. Whereas the Cup one was always televised. There was always tape delay, but
Right.
still always televised, um, and
And
so
NASCAR did
w
announce that they're going to be streaming it on their new NASCAR channel, which is
okay.
available on Tubi and other various platforms, according to the info I saw.
Hmm,
So,
okay.
um,
Which I think that is free, the NASCAR channel.
yeah, it should be. I'm sure it is. Um, so let's pop over a little bit to the IndyCar schedule. So since our Monday show, we've had the IndyCar schedule released. Um, I gotta see if I still, whoops, see if I still have it up here. I don't believe I do. But a
It's
couple
alright.
of things that I had in my notes for it were the Grand Prix of Arlington, which is a new race, temporary street circuit in Arlington, Texas. 2.73 mile, 14 turn track is going to loop around AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play and where the Texas Rangers play. The event is a joint partnership between the three parties. Which will be kind of interesting, similar to I think the F1 in Miami where they run it around Hard Rock Stadium area.
Yep, yep. Some parking lots that they've converted or painted over and not made it look like, what was it, F1 Caesar's Palace, I believe,
Something like
where
that.
it was literally just in the
Yes,
parking lot.
the
Um,
original Las Vegas Grand Prix.
yes. Um, yeah, I know Jacob's favorite that's got a split pit lane, um, which has been on the rise, I feel like a little bit between with IndyCar and, um, IMSA. I mean, I know that they kind of run the same tracks.
Bush is making his appearance on the show. Donnie's black
Yeah,
cat.
I didn't know. All I heard was just popping.
Oh yeah.
Um, no, I think it's gonna be an interesting track. The layout looks pretty good. It looks like a mix of it doesn't look it's not your typical street course, like you said,
Right.
it's kind of more that Miami-esque, um, to where it's not tight. There's a little bit of a little bit of wiggle room. I mean, street circuits are great. You still got those in IndyCar. Um, but some of these, I'll almost call them hybrids,
Yeah.
um, between your typical road course and a street course. Um, That'll be interesting to see.
There's Bush in the background there hanging out. If you guys are watching on YouTube or Twitch, you can see Donnie's
Oh
cat.
boy,
He's probably going to get yelled at here in a minute.
I don't
Um,
have the spray bottle with me,
uh-oh, he knows
but
it too.
yeah, he does.
So, the other big news from the IndyCar schedule is the Canadian race has moved to the streets of Markham.
Hmm.
And that is going to be a 12 turn, 2.19 mile layout. Um, I've seen kind of some final drawings of the track. It
Yep.
looks interesting. I mean, it's a street circuit, so. A
Yes.
legit street circuit, not even a parking lot street circuit.
No. They said, "We're gonna get out of Toronto, let's go to the nearest subdivision or sub-city." That's what it was. Markham is, like, next town over type deal. Um, but I think there was some partnership and stuff like that, plus it might traffic-wise, might be a little less chaotic.
Yeah, I
I
think
know
that
it's
was some
not
of
easy
it.
to get in some of the to get into downtown of a city, it's not always easy. Um, so especially when half of it's blocked off because they built a racetrack.
I feel like
Um,
Streets of Toronto though has been kind of a staple on the IndyCar schedule, and it kind of sucks to see that go.
yes,
But I mean, it's basically the same market. So
correct.
it sounds like too the holdup on the IndyCar schedule was going to be DC and Mexico, which ultimately did not make the list. You
Yeah,
know,
Mexico, I think there have been talks. I think I even saw a tweet.
s-
2016 or 2018, Mexico's
right.
been city's been talked about.
It sounds like too it was
Um,
World Cup this year that ultimately ended it was just feasibility with
yes.
that. So maybe we'll see it in 2027. I'm just happy to see. I'm going to call it 3 races in the state of Wisconsin while NASCAR continues to ignore Wisconsin in their top 3 series. Not bitter at all or anything like that.
No, the one I'm interesting to see go back is gonna be Phoenix. Having been to that race weekend twice now, I think, um, that'd be cool if they had IndyCar back when I went, but, um, still is gonna be interesting. It's the same aero package and all of that, um, that they had when they previously ran there, but they got rid of Iowa, so I guess in IndyCar's eyes, they needed a small oval, um,
It's a 1 year deal
which
too for Phoenix, which I think is
yeah, which
interesting.
yeah, I agree, and especially with it being a NASCAR weekend as well,
That's true.
and I think that's maybe why they did it for 1 year. They wanna see and they wanna see how the 2,
Well,
I guess,
and
3
that's
series
an interesting thing too. First 2 IndyCar races are NASCAR companion weekends essentially, because you got the trucks going to St. Pete,
per
and
se,
then
yes,
you've got them paired up,
joining the big show,
right,
um,
and taking the
and this isn't
undercard. I mean,
yeah,
they're Saturday afternoon, I think, or
yep,
Saturday.
before the Xfinity race.
So they're really the big undercard.
Yes, but this isn't the first time we've seen IndyCar and NASCAR run together. Indy Road Course in the
It was COVID
fall
year though, wasn't it?
no, 2023, I believe, was the last time.
Really?
But they ran it for 2 or 3 years, mhm. Um,
It's been that
I think
long?
yeah.
Ah, that feels like it was a long time ago.
It was only for 2 or 3 years, and I wanna say either 2020 or 2021 was when they first started it,
Yeah.
and then 23 was the last time. Um, and that was whatever the last year that they did it, IndyCar ran the road course, and then they had to switch over the track to the oval for Xfinity,
Okay.
like, later that
Yeah, yeah,
afternoon,
yeah.
which was interesting, but, I mean, not too much of it needed to be used. I mean, you have all of the front stretch, turn 1, and the first short shoot,
Yeah.
is the only
Just some
overlaying stuff,
barriers. Yep.
but, yep, I think
So
that's how it was at least,
kind of the big
but
headline too for this is they are moving. Looks like the Nashville Super Speedway race is moved,
yep,
and
that
they're
moved to
closing
July
out the
instead of
season
final
at
race.
Laguna Seca. WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca makes a return too for the Indy calendar because I think that's been off for a little
Yes.
bit.
Yep, and that used to be I thought it was earlier in the year, but I might be thinking of IMSA. Um, no, it used to be their season finale. That's right.
So that race, I mean, that track always puts on a good show. The
Mhm.
corkscrew always shows something.
The corkscrew in turn 1. I mean,
Yeah,
especially off a restart, turn 1 there gets hectic.
yeah, yep. And I think it'll be a good move. I like not seeing the exhibition race at Thermal Club there anymore. That always felt like it was just kind of a, I don't know, publicity stunt that never really took off. I feel like fans kind of saw through that and saw it for what it was, and just
Mhm.
nobody really, it didn't really do much for anyone.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm glad at least Nashville stayed on, um, because they had gone there. I mean, Nashville's been an IndyCar track for
well, they ran
years upon.
streets of Nashville for a while.
They
Did they?
ran that once or twice, I believe,
Right, and that track
but
was a cluster.
yes,
I mean,
um,
that was terrible.
it was one lane road type tight.
There was a section
Um,
that was legitimately an off ramp for a
yes,
highway.
yes, but no, I think even I mean, you're gonna have to think early 2000s maybe. They used to run Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah,
I believe so. So it's been a I wouldn't say a staple IndyCar track, but they have run it in the past, and I think that's why they went back. Um, plus, there's other than St. Pete and I guess Barber, that's it for the Southeast.
yeah,
So
which
while
is
you
an
don't get your
interesting thing.
NASCAR tracks in Wisconsin, I don't get my IndyCar in the Southeast.
Yeah, well, I think you'll be all right. I mean, you've got enough races where you'll be all right.
I got yeah, I got enough to cover it.
Yeah, of way more than what we get up here for the national stuff. But I mean, that's part of it, right? Is
Yeah.
IndyCar it seems like is really taking a Midwest approach, center of
Mm,
the country approach, and then just kind of building out from there. Which, you know, you look at IndyCar kind of growing up in Indianapolis, like it makes sense why they're kind of Midwest
correct.
first approach.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they've tried with some other tracks, um, Pocono, Charlotte. Both of those did not end up well, but
perfect. Let's head
yep.
on to racing this weekend. Jacob and I kind of highlighted Battle of the Bricks on Peacock. Thursday through Saturday, Four Crown Nats at Eldora for USAC and Lucas Oil Dirt Super Late Models at Knoxville. Saturday, we have the Tour Mods at New Hampshire, which is always a great race. I guess that's on at like
Yes.
9 o'clock in the morning out there, so it'll be an
Is it
early morning
really?
for me. Yeah, we'll be actually headed to Road America for Sydney to race, so I don't know if I'll be able to catch that, but I'll
Mm,
watch it in replay. Millbridge is on tonight. Last night, Audrey Larson looks like, in terms of the results, won her second feature event of the year. And a clean sweep too for the night. So fastest in qualifying, fastest in heat, and won the main. So she
oh.
uh, she might be turning into quite the little driver. Um, Friday and Saturday night is World of Outlaws at Thunder Bowl, and then you've got Cup and Truck at New Hampshire, ARCA at Salem. World of Outlaws notes, just because we mentioned it, Tony Stewart is their race team is expected to announce Donnie Schatz's full-time replacement for next year. Rumored drivers Sheldon Hodenshield, who depart or is departing, his ride departed, and then Gio Scelzi, who's been filling in for an injured Tyler Courtney at Clausen Marshall. Gio is also rumored to be in a second, potentially second Clausen Marshall Spire sprint car next year. Um, so, any thoughts, ideas? I mean, it should be coming out here next hour or two, I think.
3 o'clock, I
Three
believe,
o'clock.
is what it
Okay, so
was.
this afternoon.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm a big I've been a big Child fan. So it's interesting to see him go. I know his results kind of haven't been there. Um, but I know there's been a lot of speculation that he might go to that car, especially when Donnie got
Released, yep.
when they split. Yeah, that was a lot of the things I had seen was oh Sheldon. Um, but it'll be interesting.
Does Nas go
I
with
think
him? Is that a personal sponsorship for him or is that a team
no,
sponsorship?
I think that's a team sponsorship because that's got to do with the Clausen Marshall deal, which is
Right, but the 17 wasn't part of Clausen Marshall. So
um
Sheldon coming
in the
over.
back end they are
Okay.
because that's Stenhouse is no yes Stenhouse owns that Sheldon car and
Okay,
then
so it's
Stenhouse
probably
and the Clausen Marshall that hole. So
yeah.
it's 23-11 to Joe Gibbs, something like that.
Okay.
In a way, not as technical, but something along the lines of that. Um, but the second Clausen Marshall car, if Geo goes there, I think it'll be interesting because Geo's especially been, believe, an outlaw driver for the longest time, and
Correct.
now
Which
switching over to high limit.
right. And what does that tell if you're a current World of Outlaws driver? Excuse me. Going from, you start to see the drivers crossing over. Obviously, there's probably gonna be some high limit guys that move over to World of Outlaws too. Like,
Probably.
let's not pretend, but it's just I don't know. It's always really interesting to me how those things play out over the course of the year, um, and kind of where we're at with that. So
Because a lot of these are family-owned teams, you see a lot more movement, and it makes a silly season way more exciting, and the
yeah,
whole year,
I, f-
honestly.
I feel like it's been pretty settled the last few years. You haven't really seen a ton of movement.
I think this
Um,
has been the biggest in a while.
yeah, and you're seeing it kind of on the dirt late model side too, where guys are
Correct.
moving. So it's interesting.
Mhm.
It shows you though too, like these guys they're just regular guys, just trying to make a little bit of a living in racing cars, and these
Yeah.
teams have figured out a way to make it profitable for them, or at least to the point where they're not losing a ton of money doing it. So I certainly appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, I mean, mods at New Hampshire, I think this weekend probably one of the best races that's on the calendar. Um,
I agree.
that
Martinsville is probably up there. Honestly, any of the NASCAR ones, I think Martinsville is always a good one to watch. But New Hampshire, that's it's almost their Daytona in a way with the draft package.
I think for a lot of
Uh,
those guys, it really is their Daytona. I mean, it's their biggest race of the year.
yeah,
You know, you,
because I don't think they
track
have a big,
wise,
maybe
prestige
Wilkesboro,
wise.
but they do run Wilkesboro to end the year, I believe.
Yeah, but that seems
Um,
like that's a little bit of a fabricated prestige. And you know what I mean
correct.
when I say that. So,
Yes.
you have races like on the NASCAR calendar, Daytona, Brickyard 400, Southern 500, and the night race at Bristol. Like those are
Hmm.
always the big important ones. And then, you have other races that they try and make them be this big event,
Yeah.
and it just I don't know, kind of falls flat on its face. But
Yeah. I
I
always enjoy watching this race, though, this New Hampshire race.
I can tell
It's,
you the one race I will not be watching at all this weekend or in replays will be ARCA at Salem. Um, that won't even make my calendar. So, but yeah, no, we'll
I won't have it on either.
you won't know. What do you got
No.
planned for this weekend? Are you gonna be here Friday or are you off mechanicking?
Oh.
There's Bush. He saw your hand. Wanted to come say hi. That's
No,
Donnie's
Friday,
cat, Bush. Donnie got
uh
that cat from a gas station, right?
Yep. So we found him when he was a kitten,
Yeah, yeah,
itty little bitty thing, and now ooh, I
he's
know. His gotcha day's, the beginning of October,
yeah,
so,
he's king of the chair.
he's about 2, 'cause he was about 3 or 4 months when we found him in August, so,
Yeah.
yeah, he was tiny. But, no, Friday I will not be here. I'll be up at Capaldi's. I know they've got some stuff going on. They've got a Carolina Regional Mustang Club cruise-in deal. Um, so if anyone listening is in that club or going to it, there's a couple surprises going on.
Where are they racing
Um,
at?
it's not. It's a.
Or is it just like a hangout
It's
deal?
it's a yeah. It's like a car cruise thing. I think
Okay.
it's one of their stops is at the shop.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So we gotta we gotta go somewhere and pick up a car that'll be there. So I'm not gonna say too much. I don't know how many people are in it, but there will be something that I have to go help pick up on Friday. So
ooh.
um, I would have been here Friday, but found out about that. So he needed my help with that. So
No worries.
I'm gonna do that. And then oh jeez, we're
We'll
biting
s-
the blinds.
we'll see if Jacob and I are able to connect.
Yeah,
He's coming up here this weekend to go up to Road America. I think hopefully weather permitting, we'll be able to race the go-karts and you'll be able to race, but there's a good chance that we won't be able to just with the weather. It's not looking good this weekend.
no.
It's all
Hopefully it
right.
doesn't ruin what else you want to do up there.
Yeah, we'll
But
see. We'll go for that for sure as long as they have
yeah,
that, but maybe we leave the go-kart here at home. We'll take a look. But we're trying to keep these right around an hour and we're right there now. So unless you've got anything
bingo.
else, show sheet was spot on today
Nope.
by me, so 2 for 2 on that. If you guys can, make sure you head over to our partners, Impel Motorsports, impelmotorsports.com. They sell real race car parts, as well as sim racing gear, Moza, Next Level Sim Rigs. I personally have a Moza R9, 7500 I rating on iRacing. I absolutely love my R9. I try and get as many people to buy from a Moza product as possible just because I know the quality that they are. So head over to impelmotorsports.com. They're great people. If you want to upgrade your sim rig and you want to purchase a next level sim rig, if you head over to the Team 53 Discord, which is linked in our description below, you can find out how to get free shipping on next level purchases. So that's a cool thing there. Make sure too, if you're doing an oil change, it's getting close to winter here, at least for me. About another month, I'll be doing the fall winter oil change in the cars. So I'll be grabbing some AMSOIL from my friends at Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. They're an independent AMSOIL dealer. If you watched any of the Learn to Drive videos on our channel for iRacing, you've heard my spiel about that. So head over there, and then Jacob, as we said, 007 Custom Gaming PCs if you're looking to get into iRacing. He's got a lot of expertise on that. He knows inside and out what you need to have in a system, and he's not going to screw you over on pricing. And then if you are interested in short track season passes for iRacing, setups for all 5 short track cars, plus telemetry for trucks and ARCA, head over to team53racing.com and sign up there. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit